Welcome to Inside the Market. My name is David Jacobson, and I am here with the one and only Jim Barry.
Hello.
Welcome, Jim. Good to see you. Jim was out yesterday. I was away for the
week.
I haven't seen you?
No.
Wow, I haven't seen Jim in almost a week, so you look good for you.
Thanks.
So here we are. We have we're going to catch up on a bunch of things. First of all, just a little bit of we don't have sponsors for this show. We have not seeked sponsors. It doesn't mean we won't take sponsors one day, but right now we're kind of keeping this in-house. We're talking about our products, our shows and stuff, and it works well. And we will eventually add sponsors when the time is good for us and the sponsors. But right now, I just want to talk about a couple of things we have going on. Number one is This Is My Car. We finished the final episode with the McLaren F1 and the Senna. So check out that show. It's This Is My Car. You can go to thisismycar.com, or you can go to our Pcarmarket Live, like Jim's shirt says, and behind me, to our YouTube channel, which you can check out our Inside the Market, our This Is My Car episodes, and have some fun just going around and enjoying some of our original content, which is hopefully you'll enjoy it and leave us a comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. We're also going to be doing a Cars and Coffee here on July 24th at our building here. We have not done that yet. We're going to do that in a precursor to the Driven to America. Driven to America DTA 4 is happening. That's driventoamerica.com. If you are anywhere within hearing distance of my voice, even if you're in overseas, we have people from all over the world that come to it. It's one of the largest air-cooled and Porsche events in the country. And we have sponsored by Haggerty, one of our great partners for years, and Porsche is going to be there with one of the local representatives with their new cars and stuff, and we're really looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't been to that, we invite you to come there. Check out driventoamerica.com and look at the videos of previous years. It is just a wonderful event. We talk. Max Hoffman is one of the things that we do a tribute to. Max Hoffman, as many of you know, is the man. He wasn't the nicest guy in the world, and he surely wasn't loved by many, but he was a major reason why the Porsche is here in America, and why Alfa Romeo and Jaguar and Mercedes and BMW. He was the importer for these cars. Austin Healy. What's some of
Did you say Volkswagen?
Volkswagen. He brought the Volkswagen, and we have some. I'm going to put up a couple of pictures of Max Hoffman with his VW and some pictures people have never seen before. We have them in our museum, in our Driven to America museum that goes with us at the DTA shows. So there's a lot to see there. I'm looking forward to it. It's October 3rd on Long Island. Great time of the year to come to Long Island. It's cool. It's the leaves are changing color, and it's really a wonderful, wonderful event. So we invite you there. And before we get going, Jim, I know that a lot of times I beat a dead horse, but I do want to take a moment, and please let me just indulge me here. One of the things that we are summoned to do in what we do for a living is to educate, the best we can.
Sure.
Is to give some information that's going to help people. And besides talking about pricing of cars and past auctions or future auctions, is one of the things that I think is important is presenting your car and selling it and getting the most money. I can't stress enough the platform itself. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of places to sell a car, right? You can go on classifieds, you can go on all the auction sites, you can send it to the pageantry auctions that go to these, the on-site auctions. You could do them, through magazines, just on and on. There's just so many different ways that you could sell your car. And one of the things I will tell you is we have one of the largest audiences in the world for what we do. And we've accumulated that over the last few years. Hard work, dedication from our staff, and from just which are tirelessly working to cultivate and build this business that we've done. But what's important is the rest of it is up to you, is up to the seller. And what I mean by that is we have, other than putting a book together or a complete video, we're going to try to educate people, let them know that the photos, the write-up, and the responsiveness, sometimes we have to call up a seller and ask him to respond to a question from 2 days ago. Now, we're doing that now, but we're not going to always be able to do that. We have a good amount of auctions on there, not as many as Bring a Trailer, but more than most. Okay, and they're quality cars, and we do a really, really great job of doing the best we can to present these cars. But when there's someone, Jim, and I'm gonna just you deal with this on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah.
It's because there's money on the table. If you have somebody that asks a question, can I have some undercarriage photos? Can you give me a DME report? Can you give me paint meter readings? I never get that right. And then on and on and on. Just any question about the vehicle, and then 2 days later, it's not answered, or it's brushed off, or it's answered with attitude. That is such a turnoff. Just imagine somebody's in front of you asking you a question about your car, and you kind of blow them off or you ignore them. See, building confidence in the car you're selling is everything. If you have the pictures and the write-up and everything is presented beautifully and you are responsive, we can promise you the result is going to be better drastically than if you do the right thing and respond and build confidence. Now, what are we talking about when I say build confidence, Jim? Just share a little bit with the viewers.
Because people are buying a car sight unseen in most cases, right? So when they feel like they're dealing with an honest, upfront individual, they're going to be more, inclined to bid, and they'll also go closer to the maximum. See, whether people realize it or not, and I've learned this, some people are smarter than they think. A lot of people subconsciously hold back money. They don't even realize they're doing it because they realize something's not right. And when they know that, all the flaws, the known flaws have been disclosed, right? Everything's there. They see that the person selling it really cares. They bid more.
Absolutely.
You just look at the results. If anyone had all the time in the world to just look at the results and find two of the same type of car and then look at the way the guy answered and the way his pictures were done, you'll see it translate into the bottom line. You know what I mean?
And that saying that it sold in spite of the seller?
That's right.
Or it did well in spite of the seller.
Yeah.
That's true, too. Cars can blow past reserve. They could do great, and the seller stunk. Okay?
Yeah,
but it's just
it could have done more money.
No, exactly. That's my point.
The car was so good it sold anyway.
That's my point is that the color, the condition, the car just is a no-brainer, and the car, you're still leaving, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is on the table. I'm just going to tell you this. No one should ever complain about the results of their sale, especially with us, if they did not respond and build confidence as a seller. Because at the end of the day, we have actually had bidders that contacted us that said they stopped bidding on a car because they did not want to own a car that was being sold by that seller. And anytime that seller came on, they would ignore it and they would not bid on the car. They wouldn't do it. So I can't stress enough. I'm going to tell you something else that happened the other day. I'm going to share something. This is a story that we probably shouldn't be telling, but I'm going to tell you. And Jim is going to look at me, maybe not. I can cut this out maybe, but I'm going to tell you. We'll see if we cut it out. Okay? We have a car the other day that came on here that we asked the guy to lower his reserve, and he didn't. He lowered it a little bit to what was still a very high number. We took the car because our audience wants that car, and we figured that if someone wants the car bad enough, they'll step up a little bit, and it could work. We didn't want to not put the car up because the reserve was close enough to somewhat reasonable. It was high. Bottom line is, the car goes up, and the seller decides 2 days into the auction when he didn't see the numbers climbing. He has no idea that they happen at the end. He didn't understand how it works. So instead of contacting us and asking questions, he also puts it on consignment at a local dealer. The car sells on Pcarmarket for the reserve.
The ridiculous reserve.
The ridiculous reserve. So someone stepped up. We did our job. The presentation was beautiful. Everything worked out great. We spoke to the gentleman the day of the auction ending. The car meets his ridiculous reserve, and he tells the seller, sorry, the car was sold. I didn't think it was going to work. Something along those lines, and puts everyone in an absolute nightmare situation. Now, that very rarely, if ever, happens, because most people have some... I don't want to be cruel to this man's character, but he's a professional. He's a professional. And shame on this guy for doing this to everyone here, to doing it to the buyer, the bidder, and obviously he's going to pay the fee. You know,
and he's not allowed on the site.
He's not
anymore,
allowed on the site anymore, and he's absolutely going to be responsible for paying the fee that we lost. But Jim, we can't tell you enough is that this is a two-sided obligation. We will put our blood, sweat, tears, and commitment to selling a car for someone, but it has to be reciprocated in the sense that the car is on the auction. Now, again, people understand that it works out well, and this is a very rare circumstance. Yeah. I'm only bringing up this point to share with people how important it is to be an engaged and honest and involved seller. Yeah. Ask questions. If you're uncomfortable, if something's not right, that's okay. Yeah. Ask questions.
I think it's good you brought it up because, you know, a lot of people have questions about that. And I always tell people 99.5% of the sales go through. Yeah. When a situation like this happens, it's very unfortunate. And when the seller, you know, contacted me, because I actually liked the seller, you know, and I couldn't believe he did it. And I told him, I said, I have to fight for the buyer here. I'm like, this poor guy. I'm like, I know what it's like to buy a car, you know, in my mind. I mean, like, you know, guy probably went to bed. I'm so excited about the car and woke up and had to deal with this.
The guy buys a car.
And then if you want to hear even worse, and you can't even make this up.
Wow.
I reached out to the buyer, you know, because it's all done. Our system handles everything, right? We let them know, you know, there was a situation. But I called him and I said, I just want to let you know, I'm one of the people that runs the company here, and I'm really upset about this. And even though there's not much I can do, I want you to know we're fighting with the seller for you. He's not allowed back on the site. And I feel terrible. And I said, I don't know if you're new to auctions. I said, but this never happens. He goes, oh, really? I said, yeah, why? He goes, I won a GT3 on Brick Trail last month, and the same thing happened to me. I said, well, you just have bad luck. I said, wow. But I can assure you, I gave him my personal number. Wow. And I said, listen, I said, please, I said, give it another shot here. I said, that's horrible. I said, I can't believe that happened once, let alone twice to you. I said, but I said, maybe it's for a reason. I said, maybe you're going to get a better car or something, you know. Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he was the nicest man. He was very understanding. Very understanding. So hopefully he's listening to this.
I didn't know that second part of that story.
Well, you were away. Yeah. I spoke to him on Friday.
Well, he's going to find a car. He's going to be happy, and ultimately, this, you know, sometimes no happens for a reason. But the point is, in this whole, you know, few minutes, is that we'll do everything we can to portray the product with your information and your photos, and we'll help even with that where we can, and make a great presentation. Bring an amazing audience, qualified, real great guys, girls, you know, and at the end of the day, it's all up to you. The honesty, the integrity, the engagement, the responses, building confidence in your sale. I know some people are incapable of that. There are people that are just mean, that don't know how to respond nicely.
Listen, I wish everybody who is going to sell a car could hear this conversation, because it really relates to the I forgot that guy's name, the dog trainer on TV. Yeah. And when you call him, you come and you find out it's always the owner. I mean, once in a while, maybe you have a dog that you know maybe just fell off the truck the wrong way.
He's the Latin guy.
Caesar.
Yes.
Caesar. Yeah. And it's always the owner. The sellers don't realize how they're their own worst nightmare sometimes.
It's unbelievable.
They're the worst enemy. Their own worst enemy. You know, and you just get in your own way of a sale because people,
take responsibility for your actions.
That's it.
Be kind. Be kind. You know what the key word here is? Empathy. Imagine if you were going to spend 10 grand of your hard-earned money, or 200 grand of your hard-earned money, or 2 million of your hard-earned money. How would you want to be treated? Would you want your questions answered? It really comes down to kindness and empathy. If you're kind and you're empathetic, means seeing things through somebody else's eyes, you won't have a problem, because we'll walk you through it and we'll do a good. Bottom line is, we want everyone to win. We want success on every auction. And that leads me to one other thing. Deal tank. A lot of people ask, what is the deal tank? Why is the deal tank there? And so forth and so on. And I want to clarify something. You'll notice in deal tank, a lot of you that are watching this, deal tank direct. Everyone who sees the deal tank thinks that those are all cars that failed to sell at auction. They're not.
We're trying to prevent them from failing. That's what it is.
We're trying to prevent them from failing at auction. So understand, there's two deal tanks. There's one deal tank. There's two different aspects to it. One is the deal tank, when a car fails to meet auction. And the only reason why it will go into the deal tank is a lot of times maybe it underachieved. Maybe the buyer's looking for a little too much money, but someone may step up, and maybe it happens, right? It happens. Auctions sometimes don't. They fail towards the end. but our success ratio is probably in the 70% rate as far as.
Yeah, and it happened last night. That Boxster, that Kevin's Boxster.
Perfect. Yesterday, every car sold except for one, and that car sold
4 hours later.
4 hours later. So every car sold.
Yeah.
So nothing goes into the deal tank, but there are maybe 3 or 4 cars that went into the deal tank yesterday. You know what those are? I'm going to share something with you. If someone wants to auction a car on Pcarmarket, and we believe that the reserve is really, really out of range, where it's not fair to our
buyers,
bidders and buyers, but we also feel the seller and the seller and Pcar agree that let's put it up there in Deal Tank Direct for a period of time to see if there's someone that has to have the car and wants to spend that money,
or if we're wrong.
Or if we're...
Because I'm part of the wackiness of this idea.
Or if we're wrong.
We were saying goodbye to people that just weren't ready.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's fair, Jim.
That's really what it is.
Fair to be honest with that. So people will put a car in Deal Tank Direct, which is a pre-auction. So Deal Tank is the after auction if it fails to sell. And again, there's not a whole lot of those, but there are great opportunities when that does happen. Those are seller-ready situations at very reasonable prices. And the Deal Tank Direct is when it goes into the Deal Tank before an auction, and it's rare, but it happens that the car will sell in Deal Tank Direct. And then eventually when the seller maybe comes down to earth, right?
Yeah.
Or even, not even earth, maybe to the moon. They don't even have to come to earth. Then we will absolutely transfer that from a Deal Tank Direct to an actual auction listing.
And those have like a 95 to 100%
and those
success
have
of selling.
a huge success rate because of what they are.
I'm glad you brought it up because people need an explanation on it. Because what we were noticing is we were getting people, they just listed their car, their expectations were here, their auction gets to here, and then what happened? A month or two later, they're like, I should have taken that.
Yes.
And they found out that this was a fair price. They should have taken this because the auction went well, and they didn't even realize a good number when it was right in front of their face.
Yeah.
So we said, how do we solve this problem? You know what I mean? So we sat down one day, and we actually came up with this about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we said, why don't we, instead of just saying your reserve's too high, hit the road, come be on the platform. Maybe somebody wants to pay up. They want the car. They'll pay a premium to have it now. We'll keep it there. And then there's no pressure on you. And now when you're ready to sell it, let's agree on a fair reserve. You'll see you're probably going to get offers from people that's going to validate what we're saying to you.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Exactly. And our goal is to sell every car, make everyone happy. We will do everything we can, and we'll even tweak our platform, make changes, make improvements, which we're constantly doing. We have now on the site transportation. We have financing. We have improved everything. As a matter of fact, there's going to be a new version of Pcarmarket coming out very shortly, a complete update as far as the aesthetics, the way it looks, to make it a little sharper, maybe a little easier to use, the functionality. As far as some of you may have a problem with loading pictures, which drives me out of my mind on any site, and sometimes when it's ours, it really drives me nuts. So we're working on stuff all the time. But thank you, everyone, and we are going to get into a few cars here real quickly. Should we do that? Do we have time?
Yeah, we can do it. This is valuable. This is valuable.
Okay, yeah. So maybe we should make this another segment. Okay,
yeah,
part 2, here we go. Okay, very quickly, we're going to go through these quickly, Jim. All right, a 2000, and this ended yesterday, right? This is a 2003 996 GT2. Everyone take a look at that beautiful car. And again, I've seen a million of these in silver. I'm kind of sick of them already, although it's beautiful.
That's a bold statement from you.
I'm a silver nut. I love silver. This car is killer in black. It really is.
First of all, black with yellow calipers is amazing.
I love that. It is just these pictures are okay. Again, these pictures on this car could have been so much more exciting, but it does the job. The car's it's a 5,000 mile, 187,000 original MSRP GT2 996. The car.
They're rare cars, right?
They're rare cars. 1,287 of these approximately were produced worldwide. It's debatable how many came to the U.S. We're not going to get into that because who knows exactly. But take a look at this car, Jim, and look at who is not into this. I'm not a turbo guy. We all, people.
I always love these. I like this car for the same reason I like the 996 GT3. I mean, it's a little under the radar. Before the 997's got very loud in your face, looks wise and all that stuff. This is a I've driven this car. I actually had the luxury of driving these when I was in Florida. So like I-95, you had those asphalt straight highways where you could really experience the speed.
Yeah.
These are just unbelievable.
They're incredible cars, and I'm going to go quickly here because I just want to do that. And this car again sold. The MSRP was $187,000. This car sold for $188 with the fee.
With the fee, yeah.
So wow. 996 GT2 selling for original window sticker, man. Hallelujah for those 996 fans.
I'm not
It's a big deal.
shocked. I'm not shocked.
Well, listen, when it's 50 grand over window stick, everyone's going to look back and think this is a bargain.
The way these cars sit, you can't really even see it in the pictures. I mean, you can, but this car just has such a stance in person and a presence, and it's very special.
And what a great job Porsche did with the turbo twists, just updating them just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
To work on this car the way they did on the 993, right?
And even people put these on 993s, they don't look bad. I mean, I like it to be period correct, but it's not a horrible thing to do. Especially if you're missing the right wheels on your 993.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. All right, just going to go on here. Here is a car that sold here. We're talking about that. There's your turbo twist, a 993 4S Aero Kit, factory Aero Kit. What's cool about this car, everyone can see, or if you can't see, is the what is it?
Nephrite.
Nephrite green interior.
I happen to be in love with that.
Yeah, it's debatable. All right, it's debatable. Listen. A silver 993 4S, pretty common. I mean, they're beautiful cars. They're worth money, and they're fantastic regardless. But a silver one, you change the interior color, and boy, do you get the numbers change.
New world.
The impact on the eyeballs change. But look at this beautiful car. Look at that. When you take a look at that and look at the interior, and you don't see the gray or you don't see the black, which is still beautiful. The gray, the black is still nice, but the stance and the beauty, well-presented car, Jim. But what was the mileage on this car now?
It had teens.
15,000 miles. Is this? I would like to say that this is one of one. I don't know how many they made, but there's got to be.
Try finding a factory Aero Kit with Nephrite green interior. Yeah, I mean, if it's if it's not one of one, it's one of two.
But talking about a color having a big impact, this car sold for 182,000, so 187 all in, and then right after it, okay, the same car. Right? The same car with 24,000 miles in red without the Aero Kit. Some people love, some people don't like the Aero Kit. On the twin grille, I like it without it, but doesn't mean I had a C2 with the Aero Kit.
Right.
But here you go, 155, 160 all in. Maybe 9,000.
No, 155.
160 all in.
160 all in, right,
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I'm just saying, 160 all in on this car and 187 on this car.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The mileage alone, you're going to, teen mile car, because, that's a collector car, the other one. This one could be a collector car, too. You could drive
Yeah,
this
it's a
little
collector
bit.
car. And also, what's nice is this saddle interior, this
it's beautiful. And it has the supple.
The supple.
And this makes sense too, because there was not that you have to go looking for it, but we had another red tan one with 36,000 miles, did 147 within the past 30 days.
Yeah, if you look,
so it all makes sense.
Yeah, if you're looking for 993 values, go on to the results on Pcar.
Got a fair amount.
And there's a ton of 993s that have sold very recently, and you'll see all of them how they're making sense. But and when you put an Nephrite green or you put something really unique, you're going to see a spike in the price for good reason.
And by the way, the silver one, to just retouch it, even though his pictures were he made up for it with what a great individual he was.
This car here?
Yeah, he was so accommodating, that man. He ran out the morning of, and he didn't even know what a paint meter was. He called in here, he spoke with Dean, and he went and found some body shop, and they lent him a paint meter, and the man was so accommodating and bent over backwards. He deserves what he got, and And I think the buyer got an amazing car.
Yeah, and again, here's what I say, the pictures. Imagine if this was professionally done. I don't know if this car would have got any more with greater pictures, but you know
people
what?
know what this is.
Because this is one of those cars, in spite of the seller, it's going to do well.
Yeah.
Not this seller. This seller was very good, but I'm saying this car just, if you're into this car, you're into this car.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to move on here, okay? Now we have Ferrari. Let's go to Ferrari. Okay, F355 GTS. GTS, to me, probably the best iteration of this car because the Spiders are awesome. The coupes are very, very nice. But this one, you have the availability of that top coming off, a little open air driving, and you get those coupe lines.
Yeah.
The coupe lines, which is really spectacular. Beautiful ripped wheels on this car. 15,000 miles. Considered by many to be probably one of the best looking cars ever made. And I'm not going to disagree, because when you get to the newer Ferraris, you kind of get, it's crazy. They're nuts. The way these cars look today,
There's a lot of lines. There's a lot to take in.
And too much for me, man.
It's like looking at a plate of spaghetti.
It's
just everywhere.
Speaking like a true Italiano.
Yeah. That's what they were going for.
They go.
That's what they were going for. This is like a nice piece of focaccia.
The Ferrari pasta. Yeah. Okay, so but look at this car. Just look at the front. This was the era when they really got it right.
And this to me was this and the 993 were like, if you had those two cars in the 90s, I remember seeing
beautiful
these in comparisons in magazines. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they were just the car.
Yeah.
The thing we joke about, though, is we said if you bought it 993 brand new and you still have it, it's nice. And if you bought this brand new in the 90s, you would be gluing the whole interior back together if you still had the car right now.
I know. But this particular car was spectacular.
It's amazing.
Okay,
yeah.
it's besides the fact that the seller is one of the best and he represents the cars true. He really has beautiful cars, and the presentation is spectacular on this car, but well sold. $170,000 for this car.
Yeah, 170 all in. It's funny. People were in the comments saying how high the price was. To the people that I respect and talk about collector-wise and with big knowledge, everyone thinks these cars are heading towards 200 and not in a long period of time. So this is no surprise that the car sold for this price at all.
Yeah, why am I not getting volume here?
Because it's muted on the computer.
It's muted on the computer. I feel like one of those old guys. How do you do this? It's still not working.
Still not working.
All right, anyway, trust us. What? Oh, plug the other cable in. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's try this again. Woo. Sounds just like what I was doing.
Yeah, you didn't even need to plug in the cable. Just take the cable
I
out.
do very good car noises.
Yeah.
Anyway, beautiful car. Sounds great. Fun to drive. The gated shifter,
Well, that's the whole car right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, lovely choice. Well sold. Nice job. Let's move on. Next we have, this is a 2001 996 Turbo. The reason I just love this car.
Yeah, and it's a good car to talk about after talking about the GT2.
Yeah, it looks like the basalt black, but it's not. It's really just it's a metallic.
This is pretty, man.
It's a black metallic. What turns a lot of people on when you take a car like this is you put a tan interior. It just changes things.
Changes the whole thing.
It changes the whole car. Even when you look from the outside of the vehicle and you look at a photo of it and you can kind of glimpse a little bit of the interior. You know what I'm saying? It really just pops. It adds something a little special. I mean, black interior, would have been beautiful. Stay away from the gray, but nice, beautiful car. Now, Jim, tell us about this now. Again, 996 Turbo.
Yeah, this is an important comp because, the dealers, listen, rightfully so. I know dealers are having a rough time getting inventory, but everyone is trying to push the prices on these to the max. So this is what I feel is the fair money for a car with this type of mileage, this type of condition, because, it's clearly not a $50,000 car anymore. And I think 75 is like asking the moon for these, which is what some people are asking. So 61 grand plus the fee, so you're 64,000 all in.
Yeah.
Very fair for everybody. It was a dealer that was a seller, so I'm sure, if he sold it there, he made a little profit on it. I think the buyer got an exceptionally fair deal. So it was great on both sides. And when you look at what the sister car to this that just sold for 183 grand, there's not much difference between those two cars, right? There is, but there's not,
Listen,
and this is a tremendous value when you look at it from that standpoint.
19,000 mile, 996 Turbo, this color combo. You're not getting hurt with this car.
No. I'd say this is an investment grade car.
That's it.
Yeah.
Buy this car, enjoy it. Listen. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Please, don't shoot me. But put 253, 400 miles a year on the car. Have fun with it. Or put 800 miles or 1,000. No one's going to buy this car and put 7,000 miles a year on the car. But you could drive this car for the season, have fun with it, enjoy it. Yeah. For those of you that when I say don't kill me is you want to drive this car until the wheels fall off. There's people like that. I get it. But this car over here, you could drive it, enjoy it, keep the mileage reasonable. And this car won't owe you a dime.
No. no.
I mean, they're
And even
bullet.
if it does, who cares? Look what you got. I mean,
Well, that's that's a whole different train of thought.
Try go buying a new car for 60 grand.
No,
You can't get anything exciting. So this is amazing.
That's a whole separate thing. You know, it's buy the car, enjoy it, just drive it, and who cares? You know, it's still going to be worth, you know, whatever. But this car you can actually buy, drive reasonably amount to enjoy it, and still make money on, is what I'm saying, because these cars are still undervalued when you look at any of its counterparts.
Sure.
You know, anything you want to compare it to. You know, it's just a value right now.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to think that this car will be 100 grand, you know, in the future.
In the near future.
Yeah, in the near future, it's not unreasonable to think that, because even there, it's not a bad number.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I put this up here because I just fell in love with this car. I fell in love with it. So here's the 356 market. It's crazy, right? This car could have done less. It doesn't have the matching numbers on it, right?
Right.
So
but it's a late.
It's a 65 356C Cabriolet with the SC engine, 53,000 miles on a 5-digit speedo. So who really knows?
Right.
Well presented. Some recent service by Will Hoyt. You know, you put that name on it. Obviously, people have a lot of respect for their work, and that adds a little bit of value and credibility. And outstanding photos, crisp and ready. Look. I just, something about this photo makes me, maybe the red on the green, but the way that paint looks, the way the car sits, you want to drive this thing. This is the way the photos are supposed to make you feel, is you want to get in this car and you want to drive it. Look how beautiful that is, right? Even look at the seatbelts, the way he laid it out with the red seatbelts. You know, obviously those are not stock.
They're not original.
No.
This car, even we were talking about the steering wheel. It looks like it was changed, but it's a nice driver.
Oh, that's right. The steering wheel is a little weird. But what a beautiful car. Who does not want to own this car? I don't care if you're a supercar guy. This is a car that you want to have in your garage and take out and just enjoy through some of those country roads. Look. You all with me? Put it. Yeah. Beautiful. I wonder if there's I mean, it's not really exciting watching a driving video on one of these.
I don't think was he driving?
But I think it was just a walk. I don't know if he was driving here.
No.
Yeah, just walking around. But anyway, so beautiful car. This is what I call crisp. Just a crisp, nicely presented car. And you know what? I think all in all, with the non-matching engine, I think, you know, this car actually did well. I think for both the buyer and the seller, selling for 155 all in.
Yeah, because if it was a matching numbers C, you know, it would probably been closer to 2. If it was an SC, it would have been well into the 2s, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, next. This car was okay, you know. Maritime blue, one of my favorite all-time colors, especially on the 964 RS, which is stunning. We didn't talk about this yet, right? Oh, we said it was upcoming. We didn't talk about it. Anyway, we'll do this one quickly. This car, it may have set a record. I'm not really sure, but this car was $304,000 all in, which is really spectacular. Huge build on this car. As a matter of fact, I think there was $52,000 in custom tailoring, and the list on this car was near 250 grand.
Yeah, this is one of these things where it's not even like, you can't value it as like a toy.
Yeah.
It's just another art piece. And,
yes.
you know, we're starting to see some of the tourings on a decline. You know, I'm sure people are noticing that, but because they just got a little ridiculous. But this breaks the rules, because this is a blue chip car.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
This is a maritime blue chip car.
Yeah.
I think what you just said is right. The 992 Tourings are ordered. We have to order ours today. Let's not. Seriously. And we, you know, so now that's out there in people's minds, the new one, although people are already saying that these are better looking, you know, because...
Yeah, that's just opinion.
No, but I'm saying, so far, there's a lot of stuff going on in the 992. There's a lot of stuff.
There is, but, you know, there's not, you know, when you went from 997
features
to 991, there was some clear changes.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, so aside from analog gauges, you know what I mean, it's not like, you know, I don't know what's really going to be so much better about
I know,
this
but it's
car.
starting to look like a 7-layer cake. You know, there's a lot of layers to the design
no
of this
question.
thing.
But I have made the mistake. I've learned from my mistakes. I've made the mistake of criticizing a new car, and then 3 years later, I'm in search of one. It happens to me all the time.
No,
whenever
I know,
they change
I know,
a Mercedes, or it's more with other cars than Porsche. I love every Porsche. But like whenever they change a Benz, a BMW, I'm always, oh, what'd they do that for? And then I wind up loving it. Like with that new BMW with the giant grille in the front.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can wind up liking that in 2 years. You know what I mean? And I can say that because I have a big nose. But that thing is, and I don't mind it on the 7 Series. I don't mind it on the trucks. But on that M4, there's one in my town. It's green. It's an awesome color. And I just see the guy sitting in it. And I hit one morning, I'm driving, I'm like, what is that on the front of that car?
I know, it's crazy. You know, sometimes manufacturers go to an extreme to attract attention. Like, look at the Bangle design. The Bangle.
See, I always loved it. I
know,
had that car. I had 4 of them.
Listen, it was not.
You had it too, didn't you?
I did not.
I thought you had one of those.
I understand. Listen to me. Who can argue with the success that car had in selling?
And you loved the one we had here. You drove it.
That's
seats,
what I mean.
yeah.
Great car, the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm saying that back design, that trunk.
See, I never had a problem with it. I loved the coupe. I loved the 4-door.
Car was
it
was such a wonderful car, but man, was it ugly back there. I'm sorry. It never grew on me. Even when one drives down the road, I can appreciate what it is and blah, blah, blah. But it's just not very attractive to me. But however, I'm not, the 992, I've seen one on the road, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, no,
gorgeous.
it's nice.
So I'm not comparing
It's
that.
just when that wing opens, like when we were driving behind one, it happened to me yesterday. I was in Staten Island, and a guy passed me in an adventuring green one, and he had that thing up. It looked like he's driving with the trunk open. It's so big.
Yeah, that was the 992?
That's the 992, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the trunk is open.
Yeah,
I wonder if the other ones look like that, too. I can't picture it in my head.
Not as bad. But this car with the wing up is fine.
Anyway, so this car, big money, $304,000, 2,000 mile, 2018 Touring in maritime blue. Beautiful, beautiful car. I had to put this in here. Triposto Wingho Auto Classic. Bottom line is, this is a 964. This is probably the true reimagined 964.
Oh, yeah.
The original. This was done in the 80s by the Wingho family, the designers, the father and the son.
Yep.
And they've made a few of these cars. This car sold for a really nice number, $150,000. And I think, I'm going to say this again, don't kill me. I don't think you could have gotten a better number where everyone wins here, because it's a 964. It is debatable, the design, whether you love it or whether you don't like it. I don't know. I think it's spectacular. This car with this performance, a 964 with the center seat, with the look of this car, you are not going to be seen coming and going. No one's going to ever have anything like you. It is a 964, so it has a nice driving experience.
Right.
And it's not like an SC that who knows what's going on under there. This is a really, really cool freaking car, Jim.
It's unbelievable. I'm happy it finally found a home, and just wish we could have got to drive it.
Yeah, you kept telling me I should buy this. Yeah,
it's got you written all over it.
I dig this. I really, really like this. And you know what? More importantly, I like the guys who built it. You know,
well, that says a lot.
I like Hugh. They're good guys. They're passionate.
If the border opens, he told us he's going to bring us the other one.
Yeah, we'll keep your eye out for another Wingho.
Yeah.
For another Wingho.
He said he can't get through the border. They won't let him through with the car.
They won't let him through with, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Canada is supposedly in some kind of a lockdown still, which...
Oh. All right. Well, bottom line is I'm very excited for a real nice gentleman that bought the vehicle. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to hearing some feedback and then see what the reaction is when he takes this to a local event. Yeah. It's freaking cool. Anyway, okay, let's go on here. This is what's happening coming up now, just real briefly. Go check these out. 56,000 mile, 2018 991.
56 miles.
GT3. 50, I'm sorry. 56 miles?
Yeah. Well, 56,000 miles.
I didn't see a K there,
It would probably end right there.
I'm sorry. A 56-mile 2008. Wow. Talk about delivery miles.
Yeah, it came out of a collection. The guy had
Holy
19,
crap.
some other cars, yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, 56,000 mile in the wrapper GT3, beautiful 6-speed. Wow. I'm sorry, man. I would have been more excited when I introduced it. Great wheels. What great color choice on wheels. Nice trim. What'd you say?
The black with the yellow calipers again. I love
Again,
it.
black with the yellow calipers. Definitely pop. Look at that. Wow. This is a nice looking vehicle, man. Somebody's going to enjoy this. Somebody's going to really, really enjoy this car. Anyway, so that's happening right now. Go check it out. Then we have for you another Roadster, 1960, 1600 Roadster with a 912 motor. So you get a little bit more power, a little bit more of a upgraded more modern version of the pushrod motor.
It's a refreshing color, too.
Yeah, this is really, talk about a
like
summer breeze makes me feel, it's really nice. Beautiful. This is up there now. Check it out. And then we have also
that's killer
looking turbo. Turbo S, 13,000 miles, costs up to 80 grand. And center lock ceramics. I mean, what do you say about this?
The glass tail lights, the clear ones.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yep, the tail light. Beautiful car. This car's up there now from Palm Beach, Florida.
Yep, reasonable seller.
Yep. Here, one of our favorite cars. I don't know. I get pumped up when I see these Lancia Delta Integrale Evos. This is a Evo 2, so there's some upgraded performance and
Look at the mileage on this one.
6,000-mile car, 9,700. This is in the U.S., right? Where is this car?
It's in Philly, yeah.
It's in Philadelphia, so it's here for you already. Beautiful presentation. I was looking at this the other day. These always grab me. They always are saying, buy me, buy me. Your brother-in-law purchased one, and he loves it. I almost killed him the other day in my truck, but he loves this his Lancia. And look at this. If you like fun and you like to just throw a car around like a rally type car, this car really pushes all the buttons.
Well, it's cool because we never got these here. You know what I mean? So
yeah, very nice.
You have to be a real gearhead to know what this is, or somebody of European descent.
Yeah.
You know?
Check this out. Go on to Pcarmarket. Last but not least, is we have another singer, not a backup singer, a singer. This is the Greenwich Commission. I have to tell you, I hate to sound like, oh, that's my favorite singer. That's my favorite singer. But this, I'm a silver red guy. Mm-hmm. This car is killing me.
I believe it's GT Silver.
Oh, it's killing me. Yeah. It's GT Silver. This red is one of the most beautiful reds I think I've ever seen in a car. I got to get to the interior. Okay. Look at this. Look at the red in this car.
Nice people that are selling it. I spoke with them. Really, really nice people.
Let's just have a moment of silence to enjoy. Look at this. Look at this. This is the red I want. And the way it sets off. See, GT Silver has red in it to me. There is a hue in that color. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the greatest with paint colors, but I love the way that the red plays off of the outside of this car. The car's at $730,000. There's like 7 days left, so he's got plenty of time. Look at this car. Oh my God,
it's insane.
It's insane looking.
I gotta agree with you because I'm the blue person, but I like this one.
Yeah, I see a little blue in this paint too.
Well, GT Silver, that I agree with. I think the red, I think you might be off the reservation on that one. I just think the red hits it nice, but
maybe
there's definitely blue in the genetic makeup of this car.
Which is why the red works so well.
Yeah, because blue and red are amazing.
Yeah, maybe that's what I mean. You're better with that paint stuff than I am.
No, not really. You're better than you think.
Take a freaking compliment, man.
Yeah, you're better than you think. No, because listen.
All right, I'll take it. So, wow. Anyway, that's up there right now. It's got some time left. It's gonna keep moving because there's got to be so many people in love with this car right now. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Thank you so much, Jim.
Yeah.
A couple of anything we have to say before we go?
No, I mean, I guess the moral of the story here is for $182,000, do you want the GT2 or the Nephrite Green C4S? Because they sold for like the same, within $1,000 of each other.
Yeah, well, rewind it and watch it again because there's some good information that really going to help you when you're buying your next car. But real quickly is Driven to America, driventoamerica.com, which is DTA 4. That's the October 3rd event. You don't want to miss it, and it's going to be a fabulous event. Check out This Is My Car, thisismycar.com, or go to your Pcarmarket Live YouTube channel where you can watch all of our original content. And go to Pcarmarket.com and check out what's happening, what's on auction, and you can just browse through it, make a bid, send it to your friends, have some fun conversation, make some comments. Be kind. I'm not going to say rewind, but be kind. And to the community, and because comments are always great when they're helpful and they have some meaning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we appreciate you. We appreciate the time you spent with us. Have a wonderful. Is there a holiday coming up?
4th of July, maybe.
Happy 4th of July. We will not have another show until 4th of July is over, right?
That's right.
So have a great holiday, and thank you for watching Inside the Market. My name is David Jacobson. Thank you.